Hello friends, welcome to our channel. Today we are going to discuss the atomic radius. The general picture of an atom in our mind is that of sphere. We usually think atom as a sphere. If we regard it as correct, then we define the definition of atomic radius as the distance from the center of the nucleus to the outermost shell containing the electrons. To the outermost shell containing the electrons. Since the atom is made up of number of shells, the naming of these shell as K shell, L shell, M shell. So we say that the maximum probability of finding the electron is the limit. The maximum probability of finding the electron is to its outermost shell containing the electrons. So we defined as the atomic radius. Basically, it is not possible to measure the absolute value of atomic radius of an element. Why is it so? Because if an metal atom, if the metal element contains large number of electrons, this is a piece of metal. It does not contain a single atom. It does not contain a single atom. It contains a million trillions of atoms. So it is not possible to isolate this atom from the neighborhood. So in order to determine the atomic radius. Also, it is not possible to measure the exact distance since an atom does not have well-defined boundary and the probability of finding the electrons is never zero at a large distance. So overall, when we study the atomic radii, we used to keep picture in our mind that an atom is a sphere. The shape of an atom is of sphere, and the limit to which we find the electrons, we measure that one as radius. How, However, we can express the different forms of atomic radii depending upon the nature of bonding. They are, the first one is we are having the covalent radius. The first one we are having the covalent radius. The second one we are having the van der Waals radius, and the third one we are having the metallic radius. Metallic radius. When we talk about the covalent radius, it is defined as, we say, a covalent radius if two atoms are bonded together, it means they are having the common nucleus. When they form a molecule, take an example of H2Cl2. This molecule contains the same type of atoms we called as homoatomic molecule. So we say a covalent radius, when there is a term of covalent radius, it means we are measuring the distance from the center of the any one of atom, from the center of the atom, or we can say one half of the distance between the center of nuclei joined to each other by a single covalent bond. To this limit we called as covalent radius. It basically varies atom to atom. It basically varies. It is the distance between, or we can say the distance between the center of two bonded atoms joined together with a single bond. We call this one as covalent radius. We can easily determine with the help of X-ray diffraction or other methods of spectroscope. So we also define the formula for covalent radius. What is the formula for covalent radius? It will be covalent radius we defined as internucleus distance in bonded atoms divided by 2. So if teacher told you to calculate the covalent radius of hydrogen, covalent radius of hydrogen, how we can calculate it? Means we are having the two hydrogen atoms bonded with the single bond. So we calculate the covalent radius as 74 divided by 2. It means 37 picometer. It means this distance is 37 picometer, while the distance between the two center of nuclei is 74 picometer. 74 picometer. Remember one thing, that the two atom must link with the, what is the condition for the covalent radius? The condition for covalent radius is that the two atoms must link with each other by a single covalent bond. Two atoms, this is the condition for the covalent radius, otherwise the value of covalent radius will not be accurate. Two bonded atoms must have single covalent bond. Single covalent bond. If the carbon is having the double bond or carbon is having the triple bond, we say that the internuclear distance does not represent the covalent radius. Does not represent the covalent radius. Another one, we are having the van der Waals radius. If the two bonded atoms, if a group of molecules, this one is the this one is the first molecule, and this one is the another molecule. This one is another bonded molecule. These two molecules are adjacent to each other, which is of same substance in solid state. It is similar to this one, these atoms. So till what limit we called as van der Waals radius? We say half the internuclear distance. Half the internuclear distance between the two adjacent atoms which are having the closest approach. Closest approach. So van der Waals radius is taken as one half of the internuclear distance between the two isolated atoms at the same time of their closest approach. We call as closest approach. Basically, van der Waals forces are weak forces. Their magnitude are very much smaller in gases as well as liquids as compared to in solid state of substance. Therefore, we use to measure the van der Waals forces in solid state because the magnitude of force the power of force is expected to be maximum. So van der Waal radius is always more than, remember one thing, van der Waal radius is always more than that of covalent radius, Next we are having the metallic radius. So if we just want to draw the order, we say that the van der Waal forces van der Waal radius is always greater than that of covalent radius. When we are having the metallic radius, we define the metallic radius as if the two adjacent atoms, we are having the two adjacent atoms in a metallic crystal. Remember one thing, we are talking about the metallic radius, so it means we need to take the metallic crystal. When we say the half the distance center of their nucleus, we called as metallic radius. We know, since the metallic radius is weaker than covalent bond, therefore the internuclear distance between the two atoms in metallic bond is more than covalent bond. I repeat again, the metallic bond is weaker than covalent bond. We are not talking about the radius, we are just talking about the bond. The metallic bond is weaker than covalent bond, therefore the internuclear distance between the two atoms in metallic bond is more than covalent bond. As a result, the metallic radius is more than covalent radius. If we just want to draw the order as a comparison of these three atomic radii, so we say van der Waal is having the maximum radius while covalent radius has the least value. So we write the order as van der Waal radius, then we have the metallic radius, and then we are having the third radius, covalent radius. Out of these, covalent radius is easy to determine. Therefore, atomic radius of an element is normally expressed in covalent radius except the noble gases, which do not form covalent bond. Noble gases, we are having the argon, we are having the neon, we are having the xenon. These all are noble gases. Why we call noble gases? Because their outermost shell are having the 8 electrons. In case of van der Waal radius represents the atomic radius. In case of noble gases, we not use the covalent radius, we use the van der Waal radius to represent their atomic radius. This is all about the atomic radii.